Let's go to Greece. But before we go to Greece, I want to take you around the world a little bit and see some of the global urgent trends, because we live in a global society. Everything that is being done affects our lives. You know, this morning I was just woke up by a phone call, 5 o'clock in the morning. This guy thought that I was in Athens, but I was in Atlanta. It's not good, you know, just make sure that we have 7 hours difference whenever you call in Greece. Don't do that. But some global urgent trends that we have around the world. The first thing that I want to tell you is that the global economic crisis did not stop the church growth. We have good news. We have a turmoil, you know, the billions of dollars that we own, you know, whatever is going on in Europe, whatever is going on in China right now, has not stopped the growth of the church. God is working all over the world. And the world Christianity keeps growing in the non-Western countries. That's exciting. We have a tremendous growth of the church. Do you know that there are more Bible-believing people in Brazil today than all the evangelicals in Europe from one denomination? Do you know that there are bigger churches today in South Korea than the population of Amsterdam in Europe? Tremendous growth. Do you know that there are more Christians of all the denominations in the country of China today? More than 100 million Christians. And this is more than the total population of Germany. And I'll just take that comparison to speak to you about the Christian nations in Europe. So we experience a tremendous growth of the Church of Jesus Christ. And we're rejoicing for that. Financial difficulties do not stop the church. This is the first thing that I want you to know. The second thing, I want to know that there is a rapid growth of evangelicals all over the world in all the last years. These are statistics that we don't want to pay any attention. But the second observation is at a militant Islamic increase along with the persecution around the globe. There is a tremendous persecution. You saw all these pictures at CVC. We had baptized last September 3 young people from Pakistan who came to know the Lord, former Muslims. They were baptized Christians, rejoicing, young people, 20 years old. One of them, last November, was found dead on his bed, and his throat was cut off. The police said that that was a crime of passion for religion purposes. They didn't find any other reason. We had the funeral at CVC in that very same yard that we have done our parties and our dinners, and we just, you know, it's tough. There is a tremendous persecution around the world. But I have to tell you that there is the digital revolution which opens new doors in evangelism, and God is penetrating even the hardest zone of the world, which is the Muslim area. You see what's happening in Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, Egypt. You see, Egypt is a nation with a population of more than 80 million people, and only just 12% of them are Christian Orthodox, and some percentage, you know, some other Christians as well, but the large majority are Muslims. And God is working there, and from Egypt we have teams going in other countries around the world, in Syria, in Sudan. We have conferences all over the Arab world, and there is a tremendous encouragement to see how God is working nowadays. So, on one hand, we have the financial crisis that doesn't stop the church. On the other hand, we have the uprising of the Islamic persecution. Does not stop the church either. There is a third thing that I have to say. By the way, I have here a slide from our radio station in the Middle East, in Cyprus. What an exciting thing, you know, we heard last week that the whole prison in Cyprus is listening Kanal Ifta, Channel 7, and they hear the good news of the gospel. It's amazing what God is doing in our world. in the midst of the recession, in the midst of financial crisis, in the midst of all this Islamic uprising. Another area that we have to be informed, this is my term, you cannot find it at any dictionary. Ecophobia. Do you know what ecophobia means? From now on, everybody will know what ecophobia means. It's what is happening in Japan. The people have achieved the highest level of technology, and they are feared to death what is going to happen from their nucleus power. The destroyment that we have, the catastrophe that we have in the environment, ecology, has brought to people tremendous fear and has raised up the phobia about tomorrow. We see people just bow down and pray to God and say, God, save us. There is a tremendous spirit of uprising for spiritual hunger from all over the world today. And I want you to have this in mind in order to know that we live in a very historic moments in history. 20 years ago, we were sent back to Greece from here, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we had the tremendous change of the Berlin Wall fell down. We had the opening of Eastern Europe, and that was a unique time of the history. Today, we are facing another unique time of history as we see the collapse of the Muslim faith all over the world, believe it or not. You know, all the uprisings that we see in all the Arabic nations are being done by people that they strive for more freedom and they seek to find independence. And they're using the modern technology, they're using the satellites, they're using the Facebook, they're using the Twitter, they're using the MySpace, they're using the internet, and the world is being turned upside down today. We see, of course, all the problems, and we just look upon the Lord for what's going to happen. There are a lot of millions all over the world. There are about 6.8 billion people. Many of them haven't heard about the gospel, and this is why we're here, guys. This is why we're here. This is why we're eager just to take the news out. Let's go back to Greece. In this environment, now we have to live in Greece. This is in the midst of everything. This is a unique country. And all of you have been visiting Greece. You have to come to appreciate our history. Greece is not only a beautiful country, this is a biblical land. And the Lord is working tremendously there as we are located strategically, you know, in the midst of everything. We are between Asia, we're in North Africa, and Europe. And God has blessed Greece to have the location there of making a difference. Just to go a little bit back here, I have to say that that location, it's not by accident. We receive in Greece right now more than 3,000 new refugees every week in Athens only. We are only 11 million people in Greece, and we have 1 million refugees from all over the world. I mean, this is unheard. And there is a tremendous opportunity for the gospel. Because these people coming from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, they don't have the opportunity to hear the gospel, and they come in Greece, and they open their hearts, you know, and we are able to minister to them. A few months ago, I baptized, this is the name, it's not real, Dr. Joseph, an achieved surgeon from Pakistan who came over to Greece on a medical conference, and he asked for political asylum. He was a political figure in Pakistan, and his life was threatened, and he came in Athens. He came to one of our meetings and helping hands, and he just received the open arms of the people, the love of Christ, and he became a Christian. Amazing. You know, he came to Greece just to find a better future, and he became a Christian. We baptized him in our church. It was such a moving experience. But he's married. His wife is also an achieved surgeon, doctor, and he has 2 children. And they haven't been connected for more than a year and a half because of the situation. They have killed all his friends there because his party is opposing the Taliban party. He's with Pashtun, the other party. And his life is in tremendous danger. But he came over in Greece. His life changed, and he's eager right now to go back to Pakistan, you know, and just share his faith with his family. It's amazing what God is doing in our country. So pray about the refugees that are coming over to Greece. It's an amazing opportunity. It's a unique opportunity. Okay, Greece is a nation of Greek Orthodox people, 98%, and the evangelicals are very small. But in Greece, we don't pay attention to any denominations. We don't call people to our denomination. We call people to Christ. We're working with some very important, well-known leaders of the Greek Orthodox Church. I have to tell you that the chairman of the Bible Society is the bishop of the church, of the Greek Orthodox Church in Volos, an open-minded man, you know, full of love for the Lord. He has distributed the last month only in his own area more than 40,000 Jesus films, which is amazing. They distribute New Testaments all over Greece. So we want our people, we like the Greek people, to open their minds and just come to know the Lord as their Savior, regardless what church they want to go to. Greece, above all, is one of the most challenging mission fields around the world due to the location we have. And let's go a little bit in our own heart. This is the theme that I was given to speak today. It's the Logos Ministries is the publishing word that we have in Greece, that this is a tremendous ministry, reach out thousands of people. Logos means the word. Okay, now you know another Greek word. Also, Logos doesn't mean only the word, means reason. You know, this is where we got the word logic in our vocabulary in English, which is a Greek word, by the way. It couldn't be anything else. But, Logos music is another part of Logos, and this is just how we proclaim the gospel via music and arts, and it's an amazing thing. What opportunities we have with Logos music. But with Logos publications, we want to bring the word in the marketplace. Now, you have to understand this. We don't have Christian bookstores in Greece just for doing business. We don't sell books per se. I mean, people don't read anyway. Why we're in the marketplace? We're in the marketplace because we like to make ourselves available to people that they need to hear more about God. And this is an amazing opportunity we have. For more than 60 years now, we have 6 strategic bookstores, evangelistic centers all over Greece, and one in Albania, southern Albania, in Saranda. It's amazing what God is doing with all these people that are stepping in our bookstores. We have published more than 350 titles in print, and currently we average 1 new title in production every month. You know, I'm not doing that. There are a lot of people who are working day and night in order for having this accomplished. And it's a tremendous blessing to see small remote villages to have publications, you know, Christian publications, small libraries. I received a letter from one island that you don't find on the map. It's called Castellorizo. It's over Cyprus, near Asia Minor. It's one of the most beautiful, picturesque islands of Greece with about 300 inhabitants. And they request to send them some books for their library. And what a privilege just to send them a couple of boxes, you know, a lot of Christian books and the New Testament. And this is our life, guys. You know, I want you to laugh. I want you to rejoice that when we work for the Lord, we don't do business. We share our lives with people. And this is exciting. This is great. It's awesome. And I'm looking forward to go to that island just to shake hands with the mayor there and tell him more about what our books could accomplish for his own people there. It's amazing. So we have the Voice of the Gospel. The chief editor is here, Mr. Ioannidis, with Anna, that they have been working so hard on that. We have the Daily Bread published in Greek, and many other publications that are coming out all the time. Logos Music had a lot of public events trying just to promote the gospel with well-known artists from around the world. Let me explain to you some of the pictures that you have seen already. This is the Thessaloniki bookstore. That particular bookstore serves 1 million people in the city of Thessalonica. There is no other bookstore like this in the whole city of Thessaloniki. It's amazing, but it's true, 100%. I'm not giving the numbers to impress you. I'm giving you the facts just to see the real perspective of what God is doing in the land of Greece. This is Yana, our co-worker there, with smile and passion. He will work with priests, he will work with lay people, he will work with everybody who will step in her bookstore. And this is the bookstore that Brother Simeon Ioannidis, who is here today, has served for how many years, Simeon? 20 years. You don't look that old, but, you know, serving with AMG for 50 years, you know, just that comes together. But that's an amazing thing. After almost 50 years, that bookstore is open. And we don't want that to close, and it's not going to close. Trust me. Not me, God. Okay? The Volos bookstore. This is Kostas. You have seen his picture here, okay? This is a guy who came from Albania. He's a mathematician, actually. He got a job just to paint walls in Greece. And we got him close to us. He came to know the Lord. He comes from Muslim background. Today, in Volos, in one of the most beautiful cities in the middle part of Greece, the church there has more than 25 Albanians and the whole Albanian section because of this bookstore. Talking about the impact that these ministries could have in the lives of people. I'm not talking about the hundreds of Albanians that they have gone through there and Greeks that they have gone through there. This is just something that is existing today. The number of the believers of that church have been doubled the last 10 years that that bookstore is operating. And we don't talk about books and tools. We talk about people here and lives and dreams. Patra bookstore, you have seen that picture, reaching thousands of university students. Michael, it's our co-worker there, has a little cafe corner there, and the people would stop there just to give him a flashback, and just he's printing out all their papers, and he's going to just make them in beautiful presentation just for their professors. And there are so many people who have come to know the Lord from that bookstore. One of them, it's Sotiris, is working with Campus Crusade of Christ today, and he's reaching out to thousands of students at the University of Thessaloniki. But he started from that bookstore. This is just a name that just pops up in my mind. Some of you that have been in our last outreach in Larissa, Sotiris was there leading our team with Pete Lafakis last year. It's amazing to see, you know, how God produces fruit from everything that is being done there. The Athens bookstore, this is the only bookstore like this in Athens, serving 4 million people. This is the population of Athens, actually. We don't have anything else. Of course, here in every plaza, you may have another Christian bookstore. You know, we are not this kind of bookstore there. We're a serving spot for people that they could just find some help in their lives. The mega city of Athens needs help, needs hope, 100%. You have seen these pictures alive, some of you. But I want to tell you about a project that God has placed upon our hearts to reach out the city of Athens. This is the Life in the City magazine. Oops, let's go back a little bit. Don't get confused. It's not the Sex in the City, okay? It's Life in the City. Let me tell you, I have a tremendous burden for that city. Whenever you go, you're gonna just hear bad news. So we're thinking of putting together this tabloid magazine and distribute about 100,000 copies every month in all the metro stations of Athens, carrying only good news. It's not going to be a Christian material. It's going to have a news, you know, what's going on in the government, what's going on in our public forum, what's going on in our schools, what's going on with our children. But we're going to just present the Christian view of everything there. We're going to tell people how they're going to raise their children and handle their teenagers, how they just work with refugees, how they're going to do something with people fall in the trap of drugs, You know, we like to bring some hope to the city. We're going to have a list of all the social events. We're going to have a list of all the theaters. We're going to have a list of all the cultural events there in the city. But we want to bring life in the city. And this is a tremendous project for 2012. Just talk to your churches. We need, every month, we need one team from one church here who's going to come along just to help us to distribute all these tabloid newspapers in all the different metro stations of Athens. And if that project comes alive, we will have distributed by the end of the year 1.2 million copies. The marketing experts say that within a year, everybody in Athens will have at least the chance once in his life to read that paper. It's going to be an amazing thing. We don't have anything else to offer to people. You know, we're not in politics. We don't have any resources. We have hope, though. And we want just to make this known to everybody in the city of Athens. I'm going to give you some panorama of numbers here, not to get impressed with numbers, but just to see what God is doing and give glory to Him. We have 2,000 visitors in our bookstores every month. You know, it's an amazing number. If the whole evangelical community of Greece is 20,000 people, imagine, you know, how many new people we have visiting our bookstores every single month. We have more than 50,000 visits in our evangelistic website called Nikites, the winners. You know, check that. It's amazing, you know, how the website can become an evangelistic tool. More than 50,000 visitors have been visiting our website the last 8 months. This is just a new one that we have put together. We have more than 25 evangelistic calendars that we spread all over Greece. They have a beautiful board with a picture, an icon, and we have a small message for every day. And that goes from everywhere in Greece. 25 calendars like this is being distributed at homes. And everything is being done through the Logos publishers. In Thessaloniki, you have to be praying about our hospital. You know, 22,000 people have a chance to be ministered physically and spiritually every year in Thessaloniki. We're doing great in business, but you know what? The government doesn't pay anymore. And there is a tremendous cash flow problem. I mean, the leadership of the mission here, they have a heavy time just to comprehend that. Everybody's doing his best. The hospital is working fine. The system is just perfect. The government doesn't pay. But we don't depend on the government. We depend on our governor, which is our Lord. And we're going to be there, we're going to fight that as thousands of people have a chance to be ministered every month in our hospital. Greece is in crisis, 100%. If you hear about our national debt, you're going to be amazed. They say that we have 33 billion euros debt. Okay, what's this number? But let me tell you, nobody speaks about 300,000 legal abortions that we have in Greece. Nobody speaks about that. Do you know how many births we have in Greece? 150,000. So the amount of legal abortions, it's double the births that we have in Greece. I'm telling you that the crisis is not economical. It's not financial. The crisis that we're facing, it's spiritual. 100%. Period. This is what I believe. That crisis could be turned in a historic opportunity for the gospel. And I want you just to get praying for us as we're just trying to reach Greece and the region for Christ. And you know, we walk on the miracle. You know, we live next to Cosmovision Center. I'm not going to tell you or speak to you about the vision of Cosmovision Center. You know, you came first. I mean, and I'm wondering how in the world you could believe us, you know, when you hear about Cosmovision. Because I didn't believe my own mouth. But now I see it, you know, I don't have a chance, I believe it. You know, you have made it. And you have worked so much hard on that. You know, in that particular center, Cosmovision Center, there is the only one in the world church made up by Indians and Pakistanis. Paul has been there in that church. Do you know why? Because Indians and Pakistanis don't speak to each other. They're enemies. There, they worship together under the cross. And Cosmovision Center, it's not a vision anymore, it's a reality, it's a miracle. CVC impacts approximately 15,000 lives every year. It's amazing. 15,000 people come in and out every year, Cosmovision Center. There might be groups of people from all over the world. There might be students. There might be people from national churches. We have our baptismal services. Some of you have worked out in that little pond that we have there, you know, we have baptized as Christian brothers and sisters only the last year, 53 people there. From Brazil, from Philippines, from Pakistan, from India, from Greece, from all over the world. It's amazing. It's a miracle. We have big meetings like this that you see in the picture down here with hundreds of young people during the weekends. It's amazing. We live it. We listen to that. We cannot sleep because we're next door. You know, just these people go till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. It's not good, but anyway, I'm getting old, as you see. How can you participate just to reach out Eastern Europe? We appreciate all the short-term teams coming, the tremendous opportunities that we can give to churches and organizations, the program that we have, the Global Youth Mobilization, as we try just to mobilize young people, the educational trips that the schools are taking, the short-term teams, they have the chance to work there in Greece, to work with refugees in the red light district. This is another big story. I don't want to touch it. In our days today, there are 35 to 40 million people who are slaves. Many of them are ladies and small children. And we got to do something about that. This is a huge industry. We are building a refugee house for ladies in the southern part of Albania. The name is, don't put this out, but the name is Korcha, Albania. Team of Tibardalas is building that with other co-workers in order to house abused women. You know, it's pathetic, it's tragic to see what is going on in Athens, in the mega city of Athens. Girls from Nigeria, Ghana, Romania, Moldova, Albania, Kosovo are being exploited. I don't want, you know, that breaks my heart. The Global Youth Mobilization, you know, we want to see young people finding purpose in their lives. And this is why we're just operating CVC there. It's a tremendous ministry. Now, this is the puzzle. Who is doing that? You're doing that. I see your faces. You know, some of you have been there working, you know, just working hard. Some others, they have been just praying. Some others, they just have been supporting that financially. Some others, they have been just smiling to us, and that is a tremendous encouragement. But you are here, and you're part of that puzzle. God is using people like us. I want to bring you just a verse from my Greek New Testament. It's coming from the 18th chapter of Acts. Now, if you want to remember that, 18th months Apostle Paul spent in Corinth. Where are you going to find this? On the 18th chapter of Acts. So that's something to remember, okay? And there, God says, came to Apostle Paul in a vision, and he said, Paul, don't move. Don't be silent. I have a lot of people in this city. That's the verse. Verse 10, I think. I have a lot of people in this city. You know, the sovereign God is working with people like us, that we have our limitations, we have our weaknesses, we have everything which could go bad in our lives. And He's working with people like us in order to save people, to save life, to change the root of the history. And I'm excited about that. So, the participation, it's just something that we can do together. But I want you just to be praying for Greece, because we need to bring the hope and the smiles in the people. We got to win people, and we can do this together. God has allowed us just to mobilize a lot of people, to see a lot of beautiful things happening for Greece. And you know that Greece is a beautiful country. It's going to be always beautiful till the Lord comes. But also, Greece is a biblical land. Remember Athens, Philippi, Corinth. But country like Greece is a country that needs Christ, needs hope, needs light. And I want to ask you to be praying. Just create a network of prayers for the work that God is doing. Pray for our family. We still have 3 kids, and I don't think that this is going to change. Sorry for anybody else. And this is my last slide. I want just to give it to you. This is the crucial challenge. Just observe this picture here. This is a bridge that has been built years ago in order to facilitate the road, you know, and have the river going under the bridge. The question is, are we responding to the current needs? What happened? They had a flood, and the river got over the bridge, next to the bridge. So the bridge is there, you know, just beautifully, you know, staying, but doesn't serve any purpose. Doesn't serve any purpose. Listen, guys, we live in a postmodern world, and we want to respond to the real needs of the people. We don't want just to build our own empire, our own organization, our own churches, our own denomination. We want to respond to the needs of this world. We don't want to maintain anything. We don't have just to keep our tradition. We want just to worship God, our Creator. And this is why we're here on the earth. And this is the last word of me. We do not need fireworks. We need a holy fire to consume us. People like fireworks, you know, just, we don't have to offer anything like this. But we have to offer a tremendous opportunity for the advancement of the kingdom of God in Greece and around the world. Come over in Macedonia to help us. Amen.